morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is enjoying some of this constructive, overly bullish price action that we are seeing. There is so much to talk about today. Welcome to Market Check, brought to you by Because Bitcoin. This is our daily live YouTube show. We are live Monday through Friday at 10:55 a.m. Eastern Time. I know we're starting 5 minutes late today, but nonetheless, we are here. We are ready to go. We are loving it all. So, anyways, without further ado, we're going to jump right into the charts, guys. There is so much to dissect today. Our team is traveling right now at ETH Denver, but listen, all right, I'm going to make sure that we can get everybody here at least for the second half. But in the meantime, you're going to have Jackus and Will cooking up some absolutely delicious breakfast, lunch, or dinner, depending on where your location is on these charts. There's going to be some fantastic discussions. And look, Bitcoin is literally like one decent day away from a new all-time high. Bitcoin could accomplish this feat no problem. All right. But the real question is what's going to happen? Do we see that rotation into alts here pretty soon? Is this going to be a stubborn area of resistance where, it takes even maybe another couple of weeks before we blast through the all-time high? Well, I think Jackus and Will are going to answer those questions that I just posed. So, anyways, let's kick it over to them. Thank you guys so much for being here. Before we really dive in, guys, let's knock this out of the park right away. Let's subscribe. We just sliced through 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, guys. I mean, seriously, I think we're like almost to 5,500, maybe even more now. We are growing parabolically. Like our YouTube growth looks even more aggressively bullish than the Bitcoin chart. And it's thanks to you guys. So again, if you're here early, maybe you're watching it later as well, please do us a solid and don't just hit the like button, guys. Smash the like button. All right. Do us that solid. Help the channel grow. That's all that we request while we're here for free Monday through Friday. Hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe so that you can be notified of when we are aware. But without further ado, let's kick it over to Chef Jackus, man. What do you got for us here? I mean, it looks like a magnet for the all-time high, brother.
It is, and it's the topic of today's discussion, because Max, and by the way, hello everyone that tune in every single day. Guys, we do appreciate you seeing the same familiar faces as usual, plus obviously the new ones. Love to see you guys. Hopefully, we see you coming regularly. And, we are sitting, Max, I was just discussing that we are sitting on the highest, because, the monthly close is in like 7 hours from here, right? Or 8 hours. No, 7 hours. In 7 hours, we have the monthly close. And we are, as we speak, Max, we are sitting on the highest monthly close ever for Bitcoin. And we are sitting on the highest monthly price appreciation in percentage terms since May 2019. So we are currently sitting on, plus 47%, which is something that did not happen since May 2019, which is, in my opinion, pretty crazy. And there is the discussion whether we are going to, squeeze to new all-time highs in March, or are we, going to reaccumulate before doing that? There's some seasonality saying that, March could be a red month. So that's the topic of today's discussion. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Well,
You thought no, no. Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. Old trying to find the unmute button. So we're talking about like where Bitcoin can go as far as through all time high.
yeah, we're talking about whether are we squeezing to new all-time highs in March, or are we going to see a reaccumulation? Because March is usually historically the month where we see the price to pull back, not necessarily do something crazy, but pause, pull back, do a little red months, or are we squeezing straight to new all-time highs? We are also sitting, on 6 straight. Obviously I have a black and white candles, but we are sitting on, in the general looks, we are sitting on this 6 green monthly candle, which is something that doesn't happen that often. And the last time it did happen was in 2020 to 2021, and that meant the cycle top. So my discussion is here: what's next?
I think we're going up. Right. I think. I
Let's
think. I think
go.
so many people had this wrong. It's not even funny. It's absolutely like, and we talk about this on a daily basis when it comes to, uh, Bitcoin and crypto, and like, believe me, 6 months ago, if you'd have said, "Hey, we're gonna go through all time high before the halving," I'd be like, "We'll see, we'll see." That's what because I'm never one of an odds of it's never going to happen, but I am one of an odds of what's your likeliness. And hey, Bitcoin pulled off what I thought was very unlikely, and that can happen. That can happen in these markets. You know what that means? That means that my thought on that happening was wrong, and that's okay because it's a good kind of wrong because I was wrong anyway. So then it only benefited me. It only benefited for me to be wrong, right? But I'm always I'm an optimistic person, but I'm not a dumb person, and so I never try to over be overly bullish on anything. I try to take things from a logical standpoint, and same thing with bearish, right? I try not to be overly bearish, but I try to take things from a logical standpoint and break them down in a way that makes sense. Bitcoin, at this point, like I think the naysayers or the people that are trying to call this pullback as if they're going to be somebody stamped in history for calling a pullback, as if there wasn't like a million of them along the way. Um, it's going to be kind of weird, but I would argue, and Jackus, I don't know if you could recreate this. The move from the low to the January high of 2021, and just kind of place
So
that over top of where we're at.
the move from January,
No, sorry,
right?
sorry. So you want to go from 2020
All right,
low,
2020,
and then
2020
to the January high, but on the weekly.
on the weekly.
But fractal it.
All right. So we go from March 2020 low, right,
Yep, to January high
to January high.
of
And
2021.
all
So
right,
so see
like
see
this.
that little, yeah, and see that little hiccup you had there in January. So
Mm,
that did that
yeah.
occur before you broke out, or did that occur way higher after you broke out?
Well, it happened way after we broke the all-time highs, right? They
And
we were sorry.
no, go ahead. You can cook into that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to quickly add in that we were accumulating slowly right below all-time highs. Then we just squeezed through and were blasting all the way to 40K before we had any meaningful pullback.
So let's say that happens again. How high do you think Bitcoin goes before they actually get the pullback?
Yeah, it can go definitely, like like I'm ready for any scenario, Will. I'm ready that, we totally can pull back here, but I'm also ready that we just squeeze higher because we've seen, something of similar situation in the stock market when we've seen Nvidia, when we've seen Facebook just blasting through their all-time highs, doing a crazy gap, which is not probably going to get filled. If I place an Nvidia, right? We had that gap that's on the daily, and then we just kept riding higher. And Facebook, Meta is the same. We were approaching all-time highs. We broke through, and then this gap, and it just there wasn't any meaningful correction, and we just kept going higher. So I am totally ready if BTC does something similar, right? I'm still I'm still cautious, but why not? Why not, Will?
But you see what I'm saying, right? And I think like not many analysts out there are taking this into consideration. And I think it's something that should be kind of kept into consideration when you're looking at this market. And you're like, hey, how should I approach this market? Well, in that scenario, I would say you need to be entertaining this possibility. Not you. But the average person needs to be entertaining this possibility. And any trader out there, my God, look, if you guys are traders, like you should definitely be entertaining this possibility and presenting it to your audience if you're a trader that this could very well happen. Uh, I just don't think enough people are.
Is this how you meant the fractal wheel? Kinda.
Kind of. I mean, we could have stretched the fractal all the way down to the low in reality, right? And yeah, and just brought it back down to where we initially bounced. No, I
So
meant
like this.
more of like, yeah, and then like take that and overlay it from our low of our current cycle over to the right more. Yeah, right in there. So and look at it more like that, right? And so this 20-30% pullback could happen at 70K. It could happen at 80K. It could happen at 90K. This is why like people telling people, hey, there's potential for okay, but nobody knows where that's going to occur, especially if you break all-time high. If you tell people you know where the pullback's going to occur above all-time high, you're flat out lying. And I'll tell you why. Because price discovery is why is it called price discovery? Do you know the answer to that, Jackus?
Sorry, I was just reading a comment here. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Once
You're good.
again.
So I was asking, why is price discovery called price discovery?
Well, price discovery because there is no levels to the left side. We are trading at all-time highs, and there is no price resistance, right? So people are basically, looking to find the fair value of the asset. So they may be drawing like FIP extensions, or something to look where price could potentially top. But we are, discovering how far the price can go before an equilibrium is being met. That's my view.
And that's the point I wanted to get to, because I think not enough people understand that price discovery specifically is called price discovery because nobody can really predict how high it can go or how low it can drop or where that resistance can occur. Now, what tends to help us as traders with price discovery is historical factors, right? What are historical factors? Well, they're not me looking at previous price action in 2021. They're not me really looking at previous price action in 2017. It's more like Fibonacci's, right? And if you understand Fibonacci's, you understand how they work. Fibonacci's work great for retraces because that's what they were designed for. And there's psychological levels that are built into Fibonacci that just work beautifully. Sorry, I had a frog in my throat. But those are basically the levels that they provide. Now, are there hidden factors within the Fibonacci that I think they should add at some point? Yeah, it's a 786, your golden pocket, around this, the 061, or I think it's 614, something like that. So on and so forth. But they're not the say all be all when it comes to markets. But the point being that I wanted to get to with that is that the only resistance you should ever be really looking for after you've broken an all-time high is your 1618. Could you do a fib from the high to the low on the current cycle? So the peak high of 2021 into the
Yeah,
low of the current range.
I did so.
And what's our 1618 at?
That's sitting at 101. It's the laser eyes, the 100K, man. That's where 162 is sitting. Nice confluence.
And it
Nice confluence.
exactly, and it lines right up with our fractal. Now I'm not calling a top here because I think Bitcoin will overextend, right? And if it overextends, what's that next level look like there, Jackus?
What's actually interesting, Will, if I drag the FIP extension from the past cycle, we have hit the 3.62 level. And if we were to do the same, that one is sitting at 200K, which is an area that I also think we are going to hit in this cycle. Because, we have the major institutions, Will, that are basically saying to their clients like, hey guys, you should allocate anything from 1 to 5% of your portfolio into crypto here, right? Like mostly they mean obviously BTC, but it's going to be we will get the Ethereum ETF, and then we will start getting all the others probably too, and then that will mean that the capital find its way to the whole sector, right? But really, 1 to 5% may not sound like much, but when we are talking about the global financial institutions, that's trillions of dollars. And the whole industry is sitting at 2.2, just 2.2, guys. So if 1 to 5% finds its way into crypto over the next, I don't know, 2 years, man, we are talking about this industry being in double digits. It's pretty clear. So that's basically, that's basically 200K for BTC. And once again, if we were to overlay the FIP extensions from the past cycle into this one, that's just looking at the same, that gives you about 200K price target.
Can you add me up the stage real quick?
Let's go, Will. Let's go. You wanna remove the other one? I love that. By the way, you are muted, Will. You're muted before you speak, and I love your background there. I still cannot hear you, Will. Still cannot hear you. Still cannot hear you. Probably the settings there. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, before Will fixes his setup, just a quick reminder, guys. If you are enjoying the show, obviously it's just two of us right now. Max will join us later today because the whole team is traveling to Denver right now, to East Denver. But we will have the whole squad hopefully back tomorrow. Not actually sure about it, but definitely next week, right? And if you guys are enjoying the show, again, I'm gonna make this quick, but don't forget to smash the like button. It's helping the channel grow. It's how the YouTube algorithm works. So we wouldn't be asking you if it would not make the difference. We are not pleased to keep reminding you as well, but it is what it is. So
Can you hear
anyways, I hear you, Will. I hear you, Will,
me?
and
Okay.
then
All right,
jump
cool.
we will jump to all the comments section, guys. Cook, Will, cook. And
Yeah, yeah. So,
if you want to share
go.
chart, totally good.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. I guess share chart. Yeah. So, let me see here. Present. So I recently did a refresh on my whole thing, so now all my stuff's jacked because all my settings got reset. This sucks.
No worries.
Let's go into.
Hello, Todd. Hello, Todd. Will is the cheat sheet dictator, says Chen. Smash the like. Smash the like. My mouse broke. Man, that's the way, Austin. Love to hear that.
We had
Oh shit. We'll just rock, guys. Now it's only Jake's show. Smash the like button. No worries, he'll be back soon enough. This is the first time for me when I'm cooking here alone. Rare times. Oh, who are these nerds? Who are these nerds? Well, the nerds that are cooking Mr. Hagrid, Mr. Tucker. And when we speaking about it, where are you? You nerd. Where are you? Be missing you, man. But no, enjoy the East Denver, and I'll be looking to see you back. As the whole team. Anyways, I'll jump through some of the comments, guys, before Will joins us back. GM, guys. By the way, guys, a quick reminder: if you have a comment or question that you absolutely want to have discussed, you can always oh yeah, you're back, Will. But just to, and I hear you. All good. Just to finish up, guys, if you want to have your comment to be seen, to make sure that your comment is absolutely being seen, you can always do the super chat, and this way we won't skip it. If we miss the comment, you can always remind yourself, obviously, as we talk. Anyways, back to you, Will. Let's see what you have for us. You can share the screen too. We do not hear you, Will. We do not hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you can hear me, then we should be good. No, I was just trying to find this the non-memeing background. I'm normally a little more comical, but now it's time to put on the serious face because I think people are gonna fumble. They're gonna fumble the ball. It's gonna be a problem. Yeah. So getting into the chart, let me present real quick. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. Moving into this share. All right. So if you could just flip over the chart there. Getting into Bitcoin specifically, this is that one's me. Is that hold on, let me present share screen.
That was your screen, Will, but you were streaming the stream.
Stream myself. There we go. All right.
Basically.
Sorry guys. I haven't had a lot of sleep. I've been trying to bring the alpha.
You on. Cook.
So I think people should consider something like this, right? And if you were to look at previous cycle to previous cycle, this is not, it's not even that much, right? It's not really that much. Not to mention it would basically replicate a double top pattern over here. Does it mean that it has to be a retouch over here? No, it could be a lower high, right? It could end like literally right in here while people are targeting a second high up here. That never happens. And then you're kind of like downtrending. And so this right here never existed. So on and so forth. But once you break, I'll tell you guys this. Once you break all-time high, once you get above that, and you're starting to exceed that, which I think is going to happen relatively soon, your next resistance target should be your 1618. So if your next resistance target is 1618, do you think any of these pullbacks are going to be significant enough to even worry about? I mean, just think about that, for like a second. I think just not enough people think about that. They want to call, oh, look, guys, we pulled back 20% here, and I called this. Nobody's going to care. No, absolutely nobody will care. You as a TA person, you are not providing value telling people that. Like all you're doing is scaring people, and you're making people more or less want to buy at lower pricing that they'll probably not buy at anyways. And so like I think adding context to the conversation is very important for people, right? It's very important to be soluble and precise in the way that you word things to individuals. There are a lot of individuals who are new to this space. There are a lot of individuals who are new to investing in general. And as traders, we tend to forget that not all the audience is traders, and I would argue most of them are not traders. Some of them are wannabe traders, but most of them are not traders. And so in those cases, your 20% pullback, 30% pullback, whatever. And I've heard this from everybody, by the way. I mean, I had literally my brother-in-law, and he doesn't do much on this side as far as like staying in with everything, right? I try to stay in with everything. And he's even brought up to me like, oh yeah, the 20% pullback or 30% pullback. I get friends that I've been talking to since like cycle middles because they never came in at cycle lows. They were thinking lower. And they were at cycle middles, and they've been talking about 20% pullbacks, 30% pullbacks. And it's like, dude, if everybody knows about the 20%, 30% pullback that's supposed to happen, do we get the 20 or 30% pullback? Right. And this has been my thesis on every bid I've made on this chart is every time we get to a certain price range, people start bidding lower. They want lower. They want lower. And it's not even by far. Like they're not even saying like, hey, we're going to dump all the way down here. Like when we're at 25, people were targeting 20. Right? They were targeting 20. And why were they targeting 20? I mean, it's the next support. right? It's the next support, 22.5 right there. But everybody is targeting the same thing. So if everybody's targeting the same thing, what's the likeliness if everybody's waiting on the side to buy? Well, if everybody's waiting on the side to buy, price is going to go the other direction. If you're up here, right, and we come down, we touch grass around 38.9. Everybody's waiting on the other side to buy at the low 30s. Again, look, 38.9. They're expecting price to come back to here. The fib is telling you everything. It's telling you all the psychological levels and everything. They're expecting price to come back to here because price went below here. Price pulled back above here. Nobody wanted to bid. Nobody wanted to bid the fib. And what happened? You're all wrong. You're just flat out wrong. And I'll keep saying it. Now the 20 to 30% drop. If we're gonna see a 20 to 30% drop, we're gonna see all-time high first. Where's that gonna put us? It's gonna put us all the way back here to 48. Okay, guys, I know you guys have heard these numbers. I know you've heard these numbers. Now, since we never saw 22K, we never saw low 30s K, right? What do you think the likeliness of us seeing low 48K is? I mean, you got to be the one to evaluate that. I just feel like a lot of people don't they don't get this. They want to be that predictor, and that predictor is doing nothing but hurting people. That's all it's doing. And when I say hurting people, I don't mean you're physically hurting people, but you're wrecking people's livelihoods by trying to let your and I'm saying this to my fellow traders, not competitors, not any of that stuff, like fellow traders on X. You're doing a disservice to your following, right? Like you need to add context to your conversation and be like, look, if I'm looking for the 20 to 30% drop, and I'm looking for price to reject here, I'm looking for multiple tries, a swing fail, and then probably a drop, right? That's what I would look for as a trader. If I'm looking for some kind of fake out fuckery up here at the high, excuse my language, then I would look for something like this. I would look for a swing poke, a roll back under. This is your shakeout, and then a roll back out. That would be my swing high. And if this occurs, you guys will all be buying here. You might get lucky and catch the mid range. And when I say you guys, I mean people that don't know how to trade. I don't know if you wanted to add context to that, or I can keep cooking there, Jackus. But
you can keep cooking. There are some questions for you, Will. If you want to keep cooking or address those.
Yeah, we can get into the questions here. Let me just let me finish this up.
Let's go.
So I want to make sure that this is well done. That's what you have left in the market, guys. Like, why are you trying to fumble for pennies? Why are you trying to fumble for pennies? That's all I'm asking. You might see a little bit higher, right? Let's say we do. That's all you have left. You have a 200% move on Bitcoin, right? Now, some people will argue that. That's fine. I don't care. Like, feel however you want to feel. I go off what I see. I don't go off what I feel. And this is what I see. Now, could the market extend further? Sure. We could take it up to some crazy number, right? We'll take it up to $250,000, 271%. Every altcoin out there is going to outperform that. Every single one of them across the board, even the ones that are going to rug. So, is it okay to have Bitcoin? Sure. Is it okay to hedge with Bitcoin? Sure. Is it okay to have Ethereum? Sure. Is it okay to have ADA, whatever alt you like? Sure. But just understand that your upside potential or what you're going to make in this market is all depending on how you play this. And if you continue to look for better entries, quote, quote, you're going to be the person who's actually lost more percentages than the guy that literally just bought and held the whole way. You're chopping yourself up. You're chopping your positions up. If you're adding two positions, that's different, right? But if you're selling to buy lower, you are putting yourself in a situation to potentially lose percentage gains against the guy that just literally came in, bought, and watches TV all day and comes back like, oh, okay, my Bitcoin's worth 200K. I'm going to sell it here. Take some profit. I'm going to go buy some stuff, maybe a pizza. Right? I mean, I can't be any more, I guess, any more clear about this. And I'm being serious today. This is serious, Will, because I normally come in and clown a lot and I joke, but I don't think people realize the amount of experience that I have in these markets, guys. Like I have an immense amount, and it's not just here. I came from TradFi, so I came from stocks and so on and so forth. So this is what you have, right? And believe me, there's a lot of great traders out there. I think they're just doing it wrong. They're doing a disservice, and they're sometimes it's two different things. And I'm giving you guys the real alpha because we're not those type of guys. Sometimes it's to bait you into their Discord, right? Sometimes it's to bait you into their group. Sometimes it's to bait you into this. Sometimes it's to get you into their newsletter. We give it to you how it is. I mean, we hold back a little bit, but we try to be as clear and concise to you guys as we can on these markets. We do add a little pizzazz for our group, obviously, and provide a little more value because it makes sense to do that because they help support us. The point of a paid Discord for us is not really for us to make money off you and haha, we're making all your money. It's to keep the lights on. That's all it is at the end of the day. It's to keep the business running and for us to be able to come here and do what we're doing right now. Without some kind of funds, there's no possibility of us being able to really just kind of sit here and do this every day with a 5,000 following on YouTube. They don't pay anything. So again, it's not us trying to shill you. We're giving you the real deal. Like we're not trying to be like, hey guys, well if you can earn, we'll give you this. We're telling you like you're limited. You're limited right now. Like you have to be really concise about your winners. Pick your winners and stop looking for that 20-30% pullback. And people that tell you, yes, alts get wrecked by Bitcoin coming back. Yes. I'm rolling my eyes. It doesn't matter. I mean, I watched an alt yesterday get slammed for like on that pullback on Bitcoin for probably 40% of its overall move. And then after that 40%, it was back up 10% plus within like an hour. Like you're not going to be that guy that's going to catch that pullback. You're not going to be that girl that's going to catch that pullback. You're like these pullbacks, they're going to be violent, they're going to be fast, and you're not even going to get a chance to get back in a lot of cases from where you sold. So just a little bit of food for thought. We normally just talk charts, but I want you guys to kind of get the bigger picture here. But again, this is my thoughts on the high here. And I think like if you look at this from an overall charting standpoint, this is a beautiful piece of art, right? It's a Mona Lisa. It's something that makes sense. It's not irrational. It's very reasonable, at least in my eyes. Maybe it's irrational to some. And I think like if you just take it into context of where you are in the market, you're at the middle. You're at the middle, guys. So like this you can't fumble here. If you're just getting in, you can't fumble here. You have to be well positioned, right? You have to be well positioned, well sized, well endowed, and ready to ride. Because the roller coasters, it's clicking. You're already seatbelted in. It's already started moving. The ramp part's where it gets fun. I stated that yesterday on Twitter. I was like, we haven't even hit the ramp yet. The ramp is where it gets fun. This is the ramp. That's also going to be your ramp for altcoins. Even if you get a fail swing, right, on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin does this and fails here. So this is what we call a failed shoulder, right? So rolls up, lower high, and then rolls. You'll still get the roller coaster effect from alts here and here. So you like this, whereas Bitcoin would roll lower. Now, granted, it could come back up and retouch like it did here, but it could also be a failed shoulder. And if this fails here, right, I would argue that even though Bitcoin had formed a lower high, you'll probably see Ethereum and these other ones in this same scenario create a higher high before really failing, right? So alts go like this, Bitcoin goes like this. That's where the cross happens. This is the whole point of BTC ETH pair, for those of you who don't know. And if Ethereum does this, then all alts straight moon. That's where you just get the hell out. Like you exit on the pump, and you let the new flood of incels that are coming into the market eat the bag back down. Just some food for thought. I'm feeding you guys some like realistic information. Like we went over some stuff in the Discord last night, and the stuff we did last night, like I opened a lot of people's eyes, I think, to like the fuckery that goes around on the back end on a lot of these shitcoins, and tried to help people understand like what is actually going on in these markets. So it's pretty interesting. We can get to the questions though, if you want there, Jack.
I loved you cooking, Will. I think you really let yourself loose, and I love it when you get that space to do so. I think the guys in the comment section loved it as well. Amazing, amazing. We should do these more often, where you and Talmi is not sharing too many charts as well live. So
Yeah.
and I love Tommy cooking too. Anyway, so there was a question from Mike T. Going your way, Will. Um, he's saying, Will, are you going to start selling your bags when you are 20% away from your price target, similar to what you did when buying BTC in bear market? If not, what is your strategy to scale out to case?
Yeah, so I talked to the guys in the Discord about this. My strategy is always to cut positions after exponentials and move on to new positions and just have like a slew of moon bags. I don't care if I leave half the money behind, right? Like I'm gonna have so many positions, it's not even funny. Now, some of you may be like, why would you want 100 positions or 1,000? Because it's market money. It's market money. I've already scraped, and I've shown the guys in the Discord. I give the alpha. I give the alpha. I'll tell you guys that. Like I've shown them in the Discord, and they can vouch for that. How to scale in and scale out of positions pretty efficiently. To leave the moon bags, to get out with X's, even with leaving a moon bag, not percentages, X's, even with leaving a moon bag, and to not feel bad about exiting a position, not get caught up in the culty BS. Like it's all it is. It's just culty BS when people try to get you to hold and hold and hold, and this is your opportunity, this is your chance. Man, I could tell you guys some real alpha, but I really don't. I don't want to put it out there because I'm gonna be blacklisted by a lot of people if I tell you guys kind of what goes on in the back end with these shitcoins and altcoins. But I did provide that for the Discord. I did tell them what it was and showed them the numbers and everything like that. And like the only people that are really winning are the devs, right? The only people that are really winning are the companies or the shitcoin creators. Like you guys aren't winning in these cases, but you can grab liquidity. There's definitely liquidity to be grabbed, right? So if we know that we're always targeting liquidity and we know that we're at a disadvantage compared to the people that created the opportunity, right? The person who created the opportunity is going to be the benefactor of the wealth of that opportunity. You are just along for the ride. So if you're along for the ride and you see the opportunity to get some profits, get some some exponentials, take them. Like that's the way I think, right? So again, we come in, take out X's, leave X's, and walk away. And then if Ethereum crosses Bitcoin, like I said, and we have this big crossing here, where maybe Bitcoin does a swing fail and basically forms the lower shoulder, but Ethereum then completely and absolutely moons and crosses Bitcoin on the swing fail. At that point, my moon bags are, and I didn't need to leave any money in, right? Because I'm moonbagging all the way from down here. I'm still moonbagging here. I'll still be moonbagging here. So the point being that I'm getting to here is that in 6x out 3, right? In 12x out 6. In 4x out 2. in 30x, out 15. And it's just over and over and over again. And even though I left 15 behind, you're like, well, you left money on the table. I left opportunity on the table. And that opportunity is house money. It's not my money. So I'm either gonna boom or bust with that opportunity. But either way, I got out with initial and house money. I still won. I still won from a trader standpoint. Like, this is stuff like no trader's going to tell you this. They're going to ask you, they're going to tell you like, hey, join my alpha group and I might give you this information in 3 years. So I'm laying it out on the table for you guys, telling you how this works. Like, I'm giving you a winning strategy that has worked for me. Take with that what you will. But yeah, I'm excited. What do we have more comments than that, or I don't know if that really answers the question.
Absolutely. We also got 2 super chats by Ozil. We do appreciate those.
Thanks, Ozil.
Ozil, as usual. Ozil is, the absolute super chat that's here since the beginning. So you're saying it's our chance. Let's bring back Carol background. Not anymore. Max is sneaking in, so not sure he would allow that. Well, if I Ozil also asking, well, if I have my own company and I'm buying Metaverse land, how hard is it to operate in Metaverse? Not sure if you want to address that.
I mean, it depends on where you're buying land. If you're buying like somewheres in like Mana, for instance, they have a lot of stuff in there to build out man. The metaverse is it's a tough subject. I feel like there's a lot of cost because it's not just buying the land, it's you also got to get assets to put in there. It's almost like building a real world business in some cases. Like 2021, if you were buying land, you were paying as much as you were paying for an actual real house. Think about that, right? You're probably much cheaper now, but you would need assets to apply to that, and I would assume those assets would probably cost you on chain. So it more comes down to cost than ability. I would put it that way, right? Comes down to cost and ability. But I would tell you this, like, if you're shooting for metaverse, and I do think that there will be a good opportunity on the metaverse play. I've discussed a couple of really good ones I think that are going to play on the back end. Um, I'm not going to really throw it out on a stream right now, but we probably talk about it in the future. I did throw it in the Discord for the BB. But I think they're going to play out really well. There's a couple I got my eyes on. I would say those will play out for like first world countries because those countries will have the ability for VR, AR, so on and so forth. But you may be limited on like third world country. No offense to anybody listening to third world country, but the ability to have access to those type of, we'll say, technologies is just less, right? And so in those cases, you're limiting your pool of available buyers, if that makes sense. That's why when people like talk crap about pudgies having like their stuffed animals in Walmart, it's like Walmart reaches high end people and low end people. It has no limitations to who it can attract to its store. But if you go to like Gucci, there's nobody shopping at Walmart on the low to medium end that's going to Gucci. They don't care about it. And in those cases, you're limiting your pool again, right? Through having expensive products. So metaverse is more of an expensive play for now, but I think it will become much more affordable later in the future.
Yeah, guys, 2-bit half bot. Jikis, appreciate your post on X. Thank you, mate. I do appreciate the feedback and you reaching out. We also had a great comment by actually, first of all, Robert. I was buying FTX at 3 cents during the bear. I need these new plebs to buy it for me at $5. Same here. You actually bought very early. I was buying at 6 cents, and everyone doubted me. Not that many people wanted to buy with me, and obviously now everyone's FOMOing above new all-time highs. I'm still having a size. Size. I'm still having a bag, but I was taking heavy profits on that one, and obviously rotating. But good job on you, man. That's very amazing. AZA TV our regular guests as well. We do appreciate you and everyone that's tuning in every single day. By the way, guys, if you are new here, we run these shows Monday to Friday. We usually have 5 analysts live. The full stack. That's me, Max, Will, Tommy. You may know him as Snorlax, and also Tucker. You may know him as Hagrid too. So if you guys are enjoying the show, don't forget to smash the like button. It does help the algorithm. The Twitter crew can hit the retweet one. That's helping a lot because it helps us to expand our reach, right? And anyways, back to the comments and the markets. So as Ati was saying, my cousin thinks he gonna get to buy BTC at 20 to 30K after this quote unquote pump. He bought the top in 2021, never bought again until BTC was back above 40K recently. That's exactly what all of us have been talking about, Will, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. You are seeing people that are getting smarter though. They're coming in earlier than the tops. I will say that. I wanted to touch on this a little bit. So this is Tesla, right? A little bit of a theoretical. Can anybody in the comment section? Can anybody guess what these red lines are right here?
That probably. Or do you want me to let the comment section answer that? Because
we can give like a minute, and then you can answer it if you know what it is. But
yeah, let us know what those. And by the way, you are on a different chart now, so they cannot see.
Yeah. I just wanted to show them something else, but yeah.
You're giving them
yes,
a good heads up. You're giving them too much advice there. Yeah, they got it.
So
we have a smart community.
Exactly. So isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how every Bitcoin remember Bitcoin halvings don't matter. They don't matter, right? But isn't it funny how every Bitcoin halving has marked the bottom for Tesla? It's funny. So what would it matter in your eyes here, Jackus? Let me ask you the question. Would it matter if you bought Tesla at 199 or at 165?
Totally, if you want to break. If you want to break, it doesn't matter. But if you are looking to make profit, then you probably want a DCA right now, every single month.
I'm just throwing it out there for you guys, right? It's kind of funny if this ends up playing out, but I did chart this out for you. I made it very obvious. Current halving we're running into, previous halving, and previous halving. Good.
Do you know what's interesting, Will, is that we have all these companies that, in my opinion, are front running. Just like we had INJ, right? INJ was the really first token in the whole market that started to pump. We had that in the prior cycle too with AVE. AVE started to move way ahead of everything, and Link too. And then everything started to follow, including Bitcoin. This time around, we had INJ, we had RNDR, right? Moving insane gains. And we do have that in the stock market too. We had Nvidia, we have Facebook, breaking all-time highs like it's butter, right? I think they are telling you what's going to happen to Tesla and all these others, major ones, definitely as well. What's the hard thing there is that people are lacking patience. So they'll look at this chart and be like, "Oh man, Tesla's not doing anything. What's going on?" And I'm gonna chase here Nvidia because it's at 900 and it's going to 1,000. So I'm gonna make quick 10%. And in the meantime, they'll miss what you have there, 2,000% or whatever, right? So yeah, that's the tough part. And I'm not saying to be fading Nvidia or anything. By the way, I still think that BTC from here outperforms Nvidia. I've been saying so, and it's starting to do so because it's kind of obvious, just because how Nvidia has been pumped and what's in front of BTC, so it does make sense. It's way easier for BTC to do those crazy multiples rather than Nvidia from the current pricing. But that's what you guys want to be doing, right? You want to be diversifying because you do not know if the next day they decide to pump Nvidia or Tesla or whatever, right? So, but if you miss the party, then these are telling you the way, in my opinion. And I do, the halvings here obviously have nothing to do with Tesla itself, but they are giving you very nice like because these red lines are the Bitcoin halvings, right? So it doesn't affect Tesla itself, but it's giving you the time area of the liquidity cycles, and it's giving you about time, right? And what's also interesting about this chart, right? Look at the top that you have there, and I think it's like 2021, the first top, right? And then since then, the price is basically, slowly moving sideways and downwards. Yeah, that one, exactly that one that you had. And again, I think it's early 2021, right? The first
this to me is like right. Oh, you mean like right over here?
no,
Right,
2021.
no, not there. Oh, yeah, 2021, right in here. Yeah, it's the same thing here. This right here is ran sideways, run, ran sideways, dropped a little bit, run. And I think like everybody's so hyper. Here's the thing, Jack. It's like I think everybody's so hyper focused on catching this. They want so badly, and this is the same thing with Bitcoin. It's not just Tesla. It's not just Tesla. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. Everybody wants so badly to catch this. Did this matter in all of this? Did it matter? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is why we tell you guys always like just zoom out on these charts. Stop being so time gated, so minuscule on a time frame that you can't see that 1 million trees in one area is a forest, right? You're like, oh, that's just 1 million trees. It's not a forest. Well, what lives in the 1 million trees? A bunch of animals. Is that an ecosystem? Yes. Okay, then it's a forest. It's just what it is, or a jungle, or whatever, right? Wherever it's dependent, wherever it's at.
By the way,
but yeah, again, I think. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, there was a lag problem on my part.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Just to pull a Tommy there, and he's not in right now, but I'm gonna pull him. Look at this, right? So right now, Tesla is just from the technical perspective, we are stuck in this range. And look what we had. It's so clean, so clean. We had a deviation, bro, above here, right? That's your deviation 1. And we had the deviation below. Very, very clean chart setup. Now we had the upside, we have retested the range highs, and now we are retesting the range lows again. So this is your perfect opportunity. I dare to say this is monthly time frame. This is not your hourly time frame where we can do multiple fuck ups, right? And yes, there is a small chance we come back, take the stops down here, right? But as Will says, does it really matter if we are going all the way up there, right? So that's a question you need to ask and answer yourself. But I think this is a pretty clean reaccumulation well, where we are retesting the confluence of the supports, and then we are going way higher, way higher.
We're giving you guys this live. This is a stock, guys. Like I told you guys, I came from TradFi. Like I'm telling you the setup. Like you gotta look, just fade it. You'll hate it later. I'll tell you that. And if you look at the cycles with Tesla, this is how I got the move. I got at the high here where I think it'd go. Tesla's first move was 704%. And then subsequently, now you could talk about money injection, blah, 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 blah. None of that matters. The price is going to move up regardless of any of that. You then have a triple move, right? So 7, 14, 21. So this right here, is almost 3x the previous high. 3x the previous high. So rather than being ridiculous and saying, hey, it's going to 3x the previous high again, I gave some diminishing returns to my percentage. And I simply went 7,000%. Now, some of you may be like, there's no way in hell that's going to happen. I'll tell you this. People thought the same thing here. There's no way in hell it's going to triple. More than triple, really. It's like 3.5, right? 3.5. It's previous high. And then over here, 7,000. Do the math. I'm only accounting for 2.4. That's it. 2.4 previous cycle. That's it. That's accounting for diminishing returns and upside. That's a 7,000% return. Right? That's a 7,000% return. And some of you will be like, oh, there's no way that company can grow that big. Blah, 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 blah. How did Apple get to the size it is today? How did Facebook get to the size it is today? How did Amazon get to the size it is today? There's no way they can do that. They did it. Like, there's so much money flow in the economy. It's trying to find a footing in a company that it can just sit back and chill and collect dividends. Eventually, Tesla will be that dividend company. Tesla does not just provide cars, right? They provide Neuralink, they provide solar, they provide satellite, right? Which is basically internet anywhere. Like, we can go on for days on all the products that they're offering, let alone charging stations. They've agreed to create the charging stations across the whole US, right? So most EVs are using Tesla charging stations. I mean, can you ask for any more? They're building the entire infrastructure for EVs, let alone all these extra I mean, they're not just building and I'm not trying to make people overly zealous on Tesla. I'm just giving you like thoughts that can break your mind out of like this shell that they just sell cars. But they're building everything. They're building the self-driving model. I mean, the Starlink thing, you gotta think about this. Everybody thinks, oh, it's just internet for home. It's internet for anywhere. It's internet for your car. It's internet for your home. It's internet when you're in the woods. It's internet anywhere in the world. And if you're out and you're in the middle of someplace with no service, it will have internet because of Starlink. Like, people don't think about that, man. It's use your head, like on what is being built here. Some of you may be like, well, he's controversial. Well, it's not about that. It's about technology. Get out of any type of propaganda stuff in your head, left or right or whatever, right? And just think about left curve all that stuff. Left curve all that. Left curve that the government's on your side. Left curve all that stuff. Just understand that the potential for this stock company is high. It's very high. And you'll probably see this go way up. And I'll tell you, you see Tesla today at 199, it will make you sick to your stomach if Tesla's at 11,500 in the next couple years. It'll
Well,
make
what
you
I
sick to your
always
stomach.
say is that people think it's impossible until it happens, and then the next reality is impossible.
I'm telling, look, guys, like I tell it how it is, man. Here's the thing. I don't think Tesla will ever reach 11,500. You want me to tell you why? Because as they're going up, they'll just stock split. Because they want the stock to appear cheaper to retail as they come in. So it'll be 200 here. Up here, it'll be a stock split. That'll bring it back down to 200. Up here, it'll be a stock split. That'll bring it back down to 350. Up here, it'll be a stock split. That'll bring it back down to like 400, 450. Right? Up here, there'll be a stock split. Probably get it to 500. But you still got the full 11,500%. Think about it. Now, I want you guys to understand this all occurred because somebody asked about timeframes. Look.
Well, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
With that said, I actually just got a thought. Do you think we will see a project in crypto that will incorporate a token split in the algorithm?
Ooh, that's actually a good one. I didn't think about that. That
You
that
just
would be
got me that
interesting.
idea. Yeah, right.
That's actually, yeah, that's pretty smart. We'll have to talk on that.
Because I was thinking,
397
I was
days. Oh, go ahead.
you know,
Sorry.
in crypto, we still have these. We have the same problems. Like whenever some token goes too much in the hundreds, it suddenly becomes too expensive for the retail. So they look for the
Yep.
ones that are still trading in the cents. And if you had a project that goes to like, I don't know, like $100, suddenly they do a like the algorithm just do a token split on a $100, and boom, that's the new pumpanomics.
Hey, that's actually smart, man. I think we just gave someone $1 million idea. We'll probably see it this cycle. I won't lie.
We should be getting paid for this, man.
I know. give me patents for free.
By the way, before we continue, there were some very nice comments for you, Will. I wanted to read. So 2-bit halfbot saying respect the serious Will. Todd Alquist saying love when Will drops alpha outside the charts. Nothing but true analysis here, right? Guys, we absolutely appreciate these comments. Goose saying Will needs his own channel. The man can cook. Absolutely. When Will is cooking, we let him cook, right? Because he has some alpha to drop. And by the way, when Will is running, the like goals for the shows, guys, do not fade it, right? If he's sorry, if he's requesting 150 likes per show to drop some alpha, you smash the like button, you smash it, and then he will dump this alpha on you, just like he did today. All right. Will the collector.
yeah,
uh,
man.
yeah, just continuing with the comments, guys. Well, if you play devil's, Karen's asking, well, if you play devil's advocate, could you possibly make a case for the other side that the euphoria a new all-time high creates is the perfect market maker's move to lure in retail only to then crash terribly? I'll actually quickly jump into that one before you will cook. So I keep on reminding these guys. If the higher time frame demand is exceeding the supply, it really doesn't matter what the sentiment is and what the market makers will do, because the market makers are operating in the market, but they cannot change the higher time frame structures, and like the higher time frame uh, mm, moves right in the asset. They can manipulate the price locally in that regard. They can take some H1 stops in that sense. They can definitely manipulate some shit coins, right? But when we are talking about BTC with limited supply, uh, not there, right? Not there. That's just my take.
Yeah, they don't have enough. They don't have enough Bitcoin to do it. Is what
Yeah.
it is. You those of you don't know, to control Bitcoin, you need 51% of the supply. Good luck. Good luck to BlackRock and everybody out there. They're gonna have to liquidate half their portfolio to be able to push that many people out of it. Um, I'll tell you this. Go ahead.
Just Robert was also saying awesome insight, Will. So just reading the words of appreciation. Nay, Brian, good stuff, Will. Hit the likes on the way out. Good comment from Billy from Philly. Well, what do you say to this comment? Chris saying Jackies and Will is the duo we need.
No, I mean
Thank
you cook too, man. You cook too. It's just that it's good to have somebody with an older mindset, regardless of age. Just being able to put yourself in that mindset of reasonability and reasonable expectations. I think a lot of people lose the plot on that, and they get out there on those.
Yeah. GG's, what are your thoughts about possible recession? How would recession influence the BTC bull market? So, listen, if recession comes, when it comes, it will absolutely influence the crypto market. The problem here is what I kept on saying, guys. You remain bullish until the market tells you otherwise. And yes, when the recession comes, it's definitely bearish. Do not think that crypto will be pumping through it. It won't, because it's a high risk on market, obviously. Although we can debate that like BTC is the safe haven maybe, but in a COVID, it jumped with the rest of the market. In 2022, it dumped with the rest of the market. So you do not try to play the smart ass. And if the recession comes, it's going to drop. The problem is that when does it come, right? So I've seen too many people that are still sidelined to this day because they are waiting for the recession. And what if BTC is trading at 200K when the recession comes, right? So you do not know that. Maybe, and I've been saying this way back, many times, that maybe we go to like 90K, 100K, then the recession comes. BTC goes from 100K, retests prior all-time high at 69, and continues way higher. That's a possibility too. So you always play the chart. You always play the weekly structure. Yeah. Anything you have to add on that, Will? How would the recession influence BTC bull market?
Yeah, could you flip it back to my screen real quick? Sorry about that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So this is what I was talking about, Todd. So yeah, maybe not worded well, but I was talking more of a owning more than 51% of the hash rate. So 51% attack is an blockchain, blah 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 miners, where they basically can control the inflow outflow at that point, and then at that point you're screwed. But like if you for say right control the network in that way, you could ultimately control it. And I would say BlackRock to set up a mining scenario like that is more of what I meant. That would screw the entire thing. Yes, they could do that theoretically, but I don't think they have enough money to do that. You set up based on what? And some of you may argue, well, yeah, they did trillions, right? Yeah, go see the cost on setting up a mining farm of that size. Yeah. So you said what would be the most bearish scenario? Sorry, could you re-highlight that comment?
Yeah. How would a recession influence BTC bull market? And what are your thoughts about possible recession?
I think people just need to not have recession in their head at the moment, but I think it will come later. We talked about this.
Yeah.
Let me switch back to the other screen. It'll probably kick you back on. But the recession itself, it's been a discussion since 2024. 20 or sorry, not 2024, 2023, and then it was a hard discussion at the end of 2022. And I think it's just people being the most scared they could be at the bottom, right? That this is where the recession fears set in heavily. A lot of people play into that, and they end up getting kind of scared out of taking positions. I'm not gonna lie, like I was just like, I'm near my price target. I got to start dialing in whether I think there's a recession coming or not. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll just DCA better at the low if it goes low, if it goes much lower. And so I started buying at the lows, but it was more to TA than it was to feelings. And I feel like a lot of people want to use their feelings when trading. And it's just not, it's not a good look, right? Like feelings are your feelings. It's not the market's feelings. So what is the market's feelings? It's the charts. This is why it's important to listen to the charts and not listen to how you feel, because money talks and everything else is just conversation, right? It's all crumpets and tea. It's all backdoor whispers. It's that's all these are at the end of the day. You can have a successful company and a bunch of people talking about how your company is going to go under, but in reality, the books, they don't. And they can look at it from an outside visual and be like, hey, this company has this and that wrong for it and it's going to go under, but that doesn't mean it's going to go under. Your books could be just fine. Now, could those become a problem later? Sure, maybe your model's flawed in some ways. But predicting that scenario is kind of like a black swan, right? Predicting a recession at this point is a black swan. 2008 was a black swan. 2000.com bubble was a black swan. And then, the pandemic, that was a black swan. Predicting those 1, 2, 3. I counted 3, right? Maybe there's a fourth somewhere in there that somebody knows of. I don't know if there was any that was massive. But that is in a 20-year span. Again, the number is 3 in 20 years. 3 in 20 years. So what do you think your odds are that you're going to call that black swan? What do you think your odds would be, Jackus? 3 times in 20 years.
Very low. Not sure what number I would put to that, but very low.
It would be very, very low. So actually, we could pull up a calculator here, right? And we can clear it up, and we could say 3 times. Oh my gosh, I just had a brain aneurysm. Just a second.
By the way, in the meantime, before we'll do the math stuff, and man, I would absolutely love to insert the mass meme here. You know which one?
I'm just doing the math, guys. Sorry.
You know which one I'm talking about, right? Wait.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely pulling that up.
So 365 times 20 equals 7,300. All right, 7,300. So, oh my God, I know I'm doing the odds wrong. Hold on, 300. All right. Anyways, look, take 3 into 7,300. Get your percentage. It's like 0.000000. Like, it's not even a factor we should even be discussing, right? Your percentage of likeliness is very freaking low. Now, where did I come with 7,300? One day a pandemic happened. One day a crash happened from the banking crisis. One day a .com bubble happened, right? Now, did they all happen in a day? No. They took time. So you could take that whole span of time that they took, 6 months, a year, right? And you know what? We'll be modest. We'll give it a year. So 3 out of 20, right? 3 out of 20. Why are we even entertaining this as a conversation? I do think that there'll be some systemic scenario probably in the next couple of years. Do I know what it is? No, I don't. I'd say 2026, 2025. So I'll entertain the conversation in that way, but I'm not willing to say, hey, we can predict that, because nobody can. And I think, like, if you're a normal person who works a normal job, who lives in a normal world and doesn't sit there and do world macro economics for like a government, not for yourself in your basement, somebody who has a high level position, then it's not something you should keep in your foresight. Have it as a headwind of warning, but it's not something that you should be entertaining as a place where you should be looking for an entry, right? Because I'll tell you guys like this. Bitcoin, here, I'll give you a perfect example. I'll give you a perfect example. And this is where all the macro heads are wrong. And I think this is a very valuable point that'll help you guys with this thought process of when next recession, when next blah blah blah. And you'll probably hear me say that a lot over the years. Blah 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 will probably become my secret name across people that chatter. But yeah, I'm okay with that. So if we look here, I'm gonna give you guys some really, really good context. And by the way, this is my cheat sheet. I made this myself. This is not an indicator. It's just me breaking this down logically, right? That's all it is. Like, it's not an indicator. And if I think the bull ends over here, holy crap, we got a long way to go. I'm excited. But yeah, let's clear this up. Let's clear this up. Remove all 66. So Bitcoin surpasses all-time high, never sees it again. All right, let's go to the next one. Bitcoin surpasses all-time high, never sees it again. All right, let's go to the next one. Bitcoin surpasses all-time high, never sees it again. I mean, why wouldn't you bid anywhere below all-time high? Just saying. I mean, I just made it as simple as anybody can make it. The recession is not going to happen in the middle of this, and if it does, it's going to be a slight pullback into a rip. It doesn't make any logical sense to me, guys. Like, it just doesn't. If the chart's bidding, bid. If the chart's bidding, not bidding, then don't bid. Chart bidding, right? Chart not bidding. Chart bidding, chart not bidding. Chart bidding, chart not bidding. Chart bidding. And I'm going to continue to follow all cycles. Chart bidding, much higher. Chart bidding, much higher. Chart bidding, much higher. Chart bidding, much higher. That's like, lower your IQs a little bit. Okay. I know everybody wants to overcomplicate this scene. It's not as complicated as everybody thinks it is. Just lower your IQ a little bit. Like, completely left curve the whole thesis of just whatever people are telling you, and stick with the bidding side, because the bidding side is telling you we got a lot more to go. The job's not done yet, right? We could pull out that GIF, we could throw it on here. The job's not done yet. We got a lot more to go. So I hope this helps people out. I see it's 9:17. I don't know if you wanted to cut it here, if you had more you wanted to add to that, Jackus.
Hey, just quickly jumping over some comments. So Cyclone saying this is peak performance. Thank you guys. We do appreciate your comments, especially as it's only 2 of us today here, and we are not usually, especially me, I'm not used to the admin rights, so I'm trying to manage it all. Will is cooking as well. Absolutely amazing, right? So we do appreciate all of that. Imagine being sidelined. Yep. But the guys were saying, by the way, well, hard to believe this alpha is free from Goose. Robert, unbelievable insight for free here. I do agree, Will. I mean, we are spitting a lot of alpha here on the daily basis, Monday to Friday, guys. Only 2 of us, whenever we are the full panel, we are arguing to get the talk time. It's sometimes hard to get to get to it. Todd was saying, I said it before, but I really thought Jackie was crazy calling for 60K pre-halving when we were at 27K. So to be fair, I had no idea if it comes pre-halving or after, right? I was saying it's possible pre-halving. I wasn't saying, hey, it must happen. It's really that the 6K level was very significant to me price-wise. Just like, because predicting the timing is the hardest thing in the markets, right? The levels, the cycles are very much doable. But did we know that we're gonna spend so much time ranging on BTC, around the 20K area, around the 25 to 31K range after? We spent 500 days being all the way down there. And I was telling people, this is the freaking longest accumulation since 2015 and 16. Are you kidding me? After minus 75% drop, and you are thinking that we dumped to 12K? Like, what the fuck? Sorry for the language, but really. And this is the energy that's been accumulated down there. That's why we are seeing this absolute monstrous kick to the upside, right? The big boys were accumulating down there, and the influencers that have no idea been telling you that 12K is next. It is what it is. I understand it. Their language, most of influencers' language is made to appeal. They are like advertisers. They need to appeal to. So they're making lots of engagement posts. I get it. But if you think about it logically, right? 50, 100, sorry, 500 days of sideways period, right? That's just a no-brainer in my opinion. And look at lots of these alts that have not pumped yet. They've been ranging for 2 years. 2 years, guys, right? You think we did this small upside and we going back down? Absolutely not. So sometimes it's important to remind these. Yeah. Well, guys, we've been cooking for a long time. Is there anything you want to add, Will?
No. I mean, just stay diligent. Left curve all the people that are just like right curving for some odd reason, and understand like what liquidity looks like, man. Understand what a healthy. I mean, granted, we can say it's healthy or not healthy. We don't have to argue those specifics because I won't argue with you on that. I won't argue with you on healthy or not healthy, but I will argue with you on directionality, right? And directionality is peak performance up, um, regardless of whether this implodes later or whether it sustains later, right? That's really the key here. Um, I want to add just one notation going out. This is a curve up. I'll show you why. This is a curve right here. Oh. And I really think this is what Bitcoin's doing. Curve up. Like, don't get played in these markets. There will come a time everybody's gonna left curve this until it's not left curvable anymore. Right? They didn't make ETS for no reason. They didn't spend stupid amounts of money to get these through. And some of you are like, oh, it don't cost much to file for an ETF. It don't cost much to do this and that. It costs a lot for lawyers to get it in place. It costs a lot for time to invest into trying to get these going. And it costs a lot to pad the back pockets of your congressman and your federal securities office so that way they'll push it through for you. You know, but we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about that because Grayscale was the first one to file and they got declined. But as soon as BlackRock stepped on the scene, what do? They approved it almost immediately. They came in and tried to fake like they weren't interested the first couple times, and then they're like, all right, this is good. And you know what BlackRock wrote on the piece of paper? They said, push it through. That's all it said on the application. And the SEC made it happen. Okay, a little bit of propaganda there, but you guys get the point. Don't get played, guys. Don't get played.
All right, guys. I think it's time to wrap it up here because we've been cooking for 1 hour and 22 minutes, just two of us, right? Again, we will be joined by the full stack that maybe tomorrow, definitely next week again. So be prepared. The full stack will be dropping alpha on your heads. So get ready, get excited because we will be cooking. And guys, if you have been new here, don't forget to smash the like button, to smash the retweet. And by the way, if you are enjoying this daily drop of alpha, which I know you guys have been, right? We have a premium group, the BB Discord membership, link in our bios, me or Will, or under the tweet. And we, 6 analysts speak there twice a day for about 2 to 3 hours a day, right? 2 to 3 hours a day. And not to mention that because we are getting so much interest, the price will be going higher in the next 2 months because we are also launching the BB terminal. And the BB terminal is a service that many of you will want on your own. But right now, you can get the chance to get it bundled with the BB Premium membership for the same pricing, right? So, in my opinion, guys, just read the testimonials from the people that are inside. Absolutely amazing quality, amazing vibing community. You want to be there, not just for the cycle, but for all the upcoming ones. Anyways, guys, it's been a pleasure to be here, but see you tomorrow.